Number one is for everyone is going to be price. And you don't always want to go with the cheapest one because there's other factors which we're going to talk about which will take care of price. Because in the long run, and depending on like what your budget is, what your operating capital is, in the long run, $2,000 or $3,000 a month more isn't going to make a big difference. But in the beginning, obviously, if you don't have the operating capital, it could be make or break you. So if you have it, I'd be willing to pay a little bit more to be in a better location that has more of the other factors that we are talking about. When it comes to like a retail space or light industrial, you kind of want to, there's some that are like kind of hybrids. It's not quite a shopping center and it's not quite light industrial. Light industrial is fine if you find the right place, but the main thing with that is there's usually not enough parking. You got to think, like if you're doing 20 to 30 people in a boot camp class and you're doing back-to-back classes, that's 60 cars in the parking lot while there's transition, going on. So you're going to need a lot of parking. So parking is key. The other thing is a landlord. When you're looking for a landlord, I like to look for like, one single owner. Like an old timer that owns a building, used to have a business there, used to be like an entrepreneur, somebody that can like see themselves in you, wants to give the little guy a shot. This person you're going to be able to negotiate with a lot more. They're going to bend over backwards to help you, especially if they like you. And you're going to have a lot more flexibility with this person. If it's a big corporation, you can't negotiate. Either you accept the terms the way they are. They're probably not going to give you any, ramp up time, maybe a month at the most. They're not going to give you any considerations really at all. If that building sits there for another 3, 4, 5, 6 months or even a year, for them to wait for the right person that's going to be there for long term, it's worth it to them because they probably already own the building outright. So the landlord, I'd be looking for, like a single owner. And then always your neighbors is a factor as well. You want to make sure there's not like a dentist office right next door where the bass is pumping and you're gonna, rattling, the walls. Anything that is going to be disturbing to the neighbors. You want to have good neighbors. If you are going to pay a little bit more in price, that's where you want, obviously a Starbucks would be perfect, but that's going to be retail and you're going to probably pay a lot. But sometimes you might have a Starbucks in the front and some light industrial or hybrid spaces in the back. That would be good too, because then you can still pull from the traffic from Starbucks. But consider the neighbors and see if they serve a similar clientele in a non-competing way. That's always good. A hair salon would be good. Gymnastics center would be good. A martial arts studio would be good. Any of those things that you could leverage, that you could help them, and obviously in return end up them helping you as well. So neighbors is another factor involved. So I would pay more for better neighbors or for better exposure or traffic that I could draw from to help offset some of the marketing costs. Parking is probably one of the most important factors besides actually having a landlord that will help and work with you and give you a break here and there. When you're looking at spaces, look at the build out, because this is if you find a place that was an old office building and it's got a lot of little walls and a lot of little offices, you might spend your whole build out budget just in the demolition. So if you're working with a corporation that's not willing to work with you, they're not going to care. They're like, you pay for it. We're giving it to you as is. You're going to have to bust down all the walls. You have to get dumpsters. You're going to have to pay for all that, for all that stuff. So when I'm looking for a build out, I like to look for a shell. So all I have to do is put a flooring and it's wide open. Maybe put up, a front desk area. A shell with a bathroom is perfect. That way it's like zero demo and then $5,000, $10,000 build out, flooring and paint, and you're good to go. If you find one that has a lot of little office spaces, I've done it before and done the demo myself with my brothers. It sucks. It's a lot of work and a lot of money. Again, with a single owner, they're going to be willing to work with you. If there is a lot of office, a lot of demo that needs to be done, use that in your negotiation to get 2, 3, even 4 or 5 months of free rent. I was able to get 6 months of free rent when I got my space because there was a lot of that demo that needed to be done. And in that case, I weighed my options. It was worth it to do the demo myself because I had time before I had to start paying to get it done. But during the build out phase, you want to make that as easy as possible. Try to find a shell with just the bathroom already done and everything else wide open, so you have the flexibility to build it how you want and you're not restricted by $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a demo before you even get started. And so these are the key factors. Some other tips on choosing a location is in your area, go and find everything that's available. So let me just go ahead and erase some of this. You want to find all the potential spots, whether you like really like it or not, just make a list. So find all potential locations. So the reason you're going to do this, you're going to find all the potential locations. You're going to go into the ones that you're least excited about first and talk to the landlord, talk to the corporation. They might want like a tax history, they might want, some proof of funds, stuff like that. You won't have it prepared because it's your first time. You're not going to know what they want. Go get what they want. Even if they accept you and you don't really want it, you can always deny it later. But what's going to happen is you're going to go in and you're going to ask the questions and you're going to look like you don't know what you're doing. And that's fine because you don't really care about this location. But when you go to the next location that is higher up on your list, you do the same thing. Now they're like, hey, do you have proof of funds? Yes, I do, right here. Do you have this? Yes, I do. You're going to look a lot more prepared. And by the time you go through 3, 4, 5, 6 locations, you get to the top 3 that you want. Now you can say, well, hey, over on this street, this guy was willing to do this for me. If you can do that, then I'd much rather come here. You can play them off each other and use that in your negotiations. And you're also going to look very professional and have all your stuff together. You're going to come with a whole packet. Every question they ask, you're already going to have everything they need. Maybe like 1 or 2 things that you might not, but it's going to be well more prepared than anybody else. They're going to take you a lot more serious. And you can use and you know what all the other offers are out there, price, how many free months, how much build out you have to do, how much demo you have to do. And you can use those locations that you don't care about to get the one that you want. All these owners know what's out there. They already know what's out there. They know the competition. So when you start calling these other places out, they're going to know that you've done your research and they're going to be much more willing to work with you and you're going to get a much better deal.